If you're a drift driver and, like the rest of us, you didn't come from some other type of motorsport where you were already established, you probably started here, in the world of welded diffs, cheap coilovers and beat-up drift cars. Like all over the world, the grassroots drift scene also developed here. A big factor that played into that was the establishment of the Racegasmic drift polygon, where anyone with a drift car was able to come and practice their driving. A couple of years after its conception, a lot of drivers coming there wanted to prove their worth in an official competition. And so, due to popular demand, the Racegasmic Drift Cup was born. And it was a big success. With each passing race, the number of competitors grew. At its peak in 2019, there were a total of 29 competitors at the final round of the competition. And just as things were looking to get bigger and bigger, the funniest thing happened. During the quarantine years, all the future competitions were cancelled. Luckily, the polygon stayed operational at a limited capacity. But even after a couple of years went by, it didn't look like the competitions were about to return. Until the summer of 2023, when we received an announcement that they're bringing it back, baby! The event was to take place in Ljubečna, at the second location of the Racegasmic polygon, and because the level of some drift cars has gone up substantially since the last competition, this was the first time the competition was split in two classes, the OEM Plus and Unlimited. The cars in the OEM Plus class were required to have 250 horsepower or less and less than 3500 cc's of engine displacement. For the Unlimited, everything goes. But your car had to be equipped with a roll cage, among other things. Another first time was that the event was split into 2 days, with the qualifiers happening on Saturday, while the race itself was on Sunday. What I really appreciate was that even if you couldn't make it to the event, you could still watch the live stream. And there was a huge amount of effort put into the live stream. They were using multiple camera angles with a professional broadcast crew to switch between them, a live drone feed, and they also showed a replay after each battle. The overall experience felt like watching Drift Masters. Obviously not as refined, but to think that this was our local national drift competition, I still find it hard to believe. I've seen this new polygon location in some videos before, but it was my first time here. The hill in the middle provides the potential for some real interesting layouts, but this time it was used as a viewing point for the commentators and judges. And speaking of the layout, this is roughly what the drivers were tasked with this being the rough location of the clips and zones. Luckily, I had the opportunity to see what the track was like from inside the car. My friend Aljaž offered to give me a ride in his M52 B28 E36. There was also a car show happening, so I decided to check it out.
Ja, cool. Ja, gemacht.
In the afternoon, the practice was finished and it was time to start the competitions. First up was the top 16 of the OEM Plus class. and while we were making it through the battles and up the tournament bracket, it became a lot more apparent how competitive the OEM Plus class actually was. Cars were pretty much within 50 or so horsepower of each other, and the drivers were all really skilled as well. Eventually, it was time for the final. And like other local events, the rule is that in order to win in the final, you have to beat your opponent twice. Next up, we moved on to the top 8 of the Unlimited class. We've seen David, now it was time for Goliath. Almost all of these machines are equipped with a V8 or some kind of forced induction. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't really on our side. The dark clouds that started forming before started dropping rain, and pretty soon the whole track was wet. Because no one was used to driving this layout in the wet before, drivers were given a chance of a practice run to see what the conditions were like. Though the unpredictable conditions still proved to be super sketchy.
Kaj praviš, misliš, da je Dejan zaključil za danes?
Menim, da je Dejan za danes zaključil.
Nažalost, Peter Žvan prišel sporočiti, da ni nič s Dejanom Fakučem naprej zaradi poškodbe. Dajmo en aplauz za Dejana Fakuča! Lepo ga pozdravite, naš edini FIA avto pripravljen.
Ampak sigurno, Dejan se da tone in mogoče zelo kada poje. Zavolijo za prijem. Ena nona se ostavil, da ne bi prišlo do karambola, ker je vino tako. Skoraj bi to poravnal vino.
Due to some problems with the car of one of the competitors, the final run turned out to be a bye run, which happens when your opponent is unable to compete and you are therefore required to drive the run alone. You are not required to complete the full run, you just have to initiate to prove that your car is capable of drifting. Though people usually do the full run because it's basically a free practice run during the competition and because you want to put on a show for the people watching.
OM+ klasa, tretje mesto, Alen Gregorič. Svaka čast, prijatelj, rad bi to videl v Unlimited klasi. Drugo mesto, predstavnik Štajerske regije, v OM+ klasi, Miha Kugorič, Kugi. Drugo mesto OM+ klase, naš Kugi. Prvi v OM+ klasi in ne bo prvo zmago letošnjega Racegasmic driftcapa odnesel na Hrvaško. Josip Hoda! Dajmo en aplauz za Josipa! Vrhunske vožnje Josipa, nimamo kaj reči, dokazal se je. Gašpar Lukan svojo Mazdo MX-5, tretje mesto. Velik dosežek majhnega avta. Drugo mesto danes. Naš nesrečni Erik Jankovič s tehnično okvaro, žal po defaultu drugi. Tudi Borit se ni mogel za to drugo mesto, pač je po defaultu tako, kaj je avto povedal. Ampak današnji zmagovalec, človek, ki je šel včeraj čez tako, da je avto začel delati.
Prejšnji teden prišel iz Švice.
Prišel iz Švice nam vzeti pokaz za prvo mesto in sicer Nino Klausner, dame in gospodje, danes prvi Unlimited Pro klasi. Jezni voznik, agresivni voznik z lepim avtom. Svaka čast, Nino. Pokazal si se, da si sposoben čez vse ovire priti do prvega mesta.
Congratulations to all drivers in both classes for their incredible achievements. Huge props to the organizers as well. I will leave their Instagram, Facebook, YouTube down in the description, so check them out, and there will also be VODs of live streams, so if you want to see all the qualies and battles, you can also do that. There will be 2 more rounds of the Cup this year, and I strongly advise you that you come and see it for yourself if you're thinking about it, or at least catch a live stream. I'm looking forward to future events, and I'll try to make more videos about them. For now, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like on it and maybe subscribe to the channel. However, if you don't want to do that, that is also fine. Get yourself some stickers, I'll see you in the next video, and have a great rest of your day.